Welcome to Menopause Moment. I'm Susan Baroncini-Mo. This episode is sponsored by Medterra, our CBD, your health. Joining me today is Barbara Dehn, a practicing women's health nurse practitioner. She's an award-winning author and a nationally recognized health expert. She's also a HealthyWomen Health Advisor Council member, and she's here to speak with us about information from a recent survey titled, "What Do You Know About Your Sexual Health After Menopause?" Hi, Barb. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Susan. It's great to be here.
Oh, I'm so glad that you get to be the expert on this topic. I'll tell you what. So what do we need to know about sexual health after menopause?
Well, what we need to know is that a lot of women are struggling, and sometimes they feel like they're a little overwhelmed and they're not really sure what to do. So many women actually don't talk to their healthcare providers about it for a variety of reasons, because they feel like we're not going to know what to do. We're uncomfortable. And, you know, it's really up to us as healthcare providers to ask our patients. But if we're not asking, do ask. Bring it up, or find a healthcare provider that's more comfortable and more experienced talking about sexuality and midlife and beyond.
It can be difficult to talk about, I think. And one of the things I noticed in that survey was that like 73% of women are sexually active after menopause. But I also noticed that 62% experience pain during intercourse after menopause. What is going on there? First of all, why are women experiencing pain? How is it that that all these women are still doing it? And is it also something that happens in perimenopause? Is this gradual? What is the whole scoop here?
Oh my gosh, you know, I think we could talk for hours about this, right?
We will. You'll come back. We'll talk more.
Oh, sure. Great, because everybody needs to know this information.
Yeah.
What happens is during perimenopause, which is that magical time, between having normal periods and not having any periods at all, our estrogen levels start to drop. And as they do, our interest in sex can go down, and our vaginas become a little bit more dry and less able to stretch, and they're less elastic, and they have less lubricant. So sex can become painful. And I find that even women in their 30s and 40s, let alone the 50s and beyond, most women need to use some kind of lubricant to have intercourse. Now, we're talking about women who are having intercourse, but there's a lot of women who don't have a partner, who are self-sexual. Women may be using toys, they may be with a female partner, and they still want to enjoy their sexuality, but things can get a little dry there and it can be uncomfortable. Some women have even told me that, you know, if they wear the wrong pair of jeans that might be a little tight, that they are experiencing some discomfort there. So imagine if you're feeling discomfort from wearing tight jeans, you might also experience discomfort and pain with intercourse. Here's the thing, a lot of women just put up with it. But I'm here to tell you, and Susan, you're going to help us get the word out.
Stop putting up with it. There are treatments. We're going to talk in the second half of the show about treatments. It's okay. There are solutions to this.
And you're not alone, right? You're not alone. And it's not you. It's not you. It's not your partner. This is something that happens physiologically, right, with our bodies. And so many times we think, okay, this is just going to go away. It'll be better next week. But you know what? It gets worse over time.
Yeah. And it's not just dryness. There are things that can happen down there that are nerve related and they don't know why. And what are some of those things?
Well, you know, gravity is not our friend. So you know how your breasts tend to sag as you get older? Well, other things are sagging, right? You probably noticed that. Sometimes, especially for women who've had multiple pregnancies, they can have some problems with their bladders, or maybe they're leaking a little bit of urine. What also happens is that I call it reverse puberty. You know, the labia start to shrink and get smaller. The vaginal opening, which used to be able to accommodate a baby coming out, gets smaller and smaller. But fear not, there are things that women can do to make this better. And some of them you can find in your pantry. Some of them you can go to the drugstore for.
Okay, we're going to take a short break for a word from our sponsor. And then Barb and I are going to come back and talk about treatments, because there are solutions, ladies. So hang in there. We'll be right back. For many women, menopause comes with hot flashes and night sweats, and they can be brutal. Mine kept me awake all night, so I was tired and cranky all day long. I tried all kinds of supplements and CBD oils, but nothing put a dent in my hot flashes. Then, I started using Medterra's CBD oil, and my hot flashes and night sweats were dramatically reduced in severity and frequency, so I wake up less often and get a lot more sleep. Just a dropper under my tongue in the morning and another one at night, and my hot flashes decreased by about 80%. And unlike many of the CBD oils I tried, there's almost no taste to Medterra's CBD oil, which makes it a lot easier to take. Get your CBD oil at medterra.com today and use the promo code Menopause Moment, all lowercase, for 10% off your order. Okay, we're back. All right. Welcome back. Barb and I are going to talk about some solutions here. So I read that 69% of the women in the survey didn't know that painful sex that they were living with is treatable. So what are some of the available treatments and things women can do?
You know, I'm so glad the survey came out on healthywomen.org because it really helps women know they're not alone and there are simple things you can do. Number one, do talk to your healthcare provider about this.
Yes.
Number two, you might consider using a lubricant. You know, you could go to your pantry and maybe there's some oil in there. Maybe there's olive oil. I mean, I'm Italian, so I like olive oil. But one of the things I tell my patients is coconut oil is great because the aroma kind of brings you to, you know, a tropical vacation without the cost of a plane ticket.
And that's safe to use?
It's completely safe to use.
Okay.
There are also vaginal remoisturizers that you can get at any pharmacy. Those you use ongoing. And then there are some FDA-approved medications. There's an oral medication. So if you're not comfortable touching down there around your vagina, you can take an oral medication. There's also vaginal inserts that women might use.
A friend of mine had something with an antidepressant that was compounded for her. Does that sound familiar?
Well, antidepressants can be used for hot flashes and for night sweats. I'm not familiar with using those for vaginal dryness or for pain with intercourse.
Interesting. All right. Well, this is interesting. So it's as simple as just going to your pantry. I mean, coconut oil is pretty popular right now. Everybody loves it. Who doesn't have it, right?
And also the other thing is use it or lose it. So we want to get blood flow to that area. One way you can do that is if you're not ready for penetrative intercourse or using a toy, then you might use other methods to have an orgasm. So you're getting lots of blood flow to that area. And by the way, orgasms burn about 100 calories. So if you're trying to lose weight.
Now, I think it's important to bring in your partner, to be willing to talk to your partner about it. And so is that something that you recommend as an official expert?
You know, Susan, I bet you have friends who it's easier to have sex than talk about sex.
Yes.
Right? And sometimes and it's very normal and natural not to be able to talk to your partner about sex. You know, a lot of us are a little shy about it. So sometimes what we have to do is maybe say to our partners, you know, honey, there's some things that I really want to talk to you about, but they're a little bit embarrassing. But I'd really like to spend more time on our intimacy. Maybe using other words, and that will help. But do let your partner know that, you know, if you're having pain, sweetie, this is about both of us. And there's things that we can do together to have a very satisfying sexual relationship and experience, because we may not be able to have penetrative intercourse. We may have to start with some manual or oral stimulation and then move along from there.
Oh, those are great suggestions. I like that. So if you're not comfortable talking about it openly with your partner, there are ways to talk about it in a very sweet way. And so ladies, you have lots of options there. That's great. Okay. Is there anything else we should know?
There's so much more we should know. One of the things that happens at midlife is that a lot of women have a lot of issues having an orgasm, either with a partner or by themselves. So I know a lot of you know this already, but most women don't have an orgasm from vaginal intercourse. Most of the time it's from clitoral stimulation. And vibrators work. They work really well. But sometimes, and I've heard this from a lot of patients, it can take hours, even with a vibrator, and people just give
up.
Who
has that kind of time?
Well, we're burning calories, so.
That's a lot of time.
But if you're really getting to that point where you're like, gosh, forget about it.
Yeah.
Think about getting a clitoral stimulator. There's lots of those on the market, and they really make a difference.
Well, this is super illuminating, and I would imagine this is going to be one of our more popular episodes. Barb, will you come back on the show?
I absolutely will. And I also want to let everyone know that HealthyWomen.org is a great place for you to get information about painful sex. And do talk to your healthcare providers, because there are lots of solutions, including a new FDA-approved medication that you take by mouth.
Awesome. Awesome. All right. Barb, is HealthyWomen.org where we should find you, or is there another site?
Well, you can also find me on nursebarb.com. You can find me on Facebook and Twitter. And I did write a book, so maybe we can talk about that later.
Yes, you're going to come back and talk about that. I'm so excited. I'm so excited for you to come back. Would you like to join me for the after show?
Oh my gosh. I feel so honored you're inviting me. Sure.
Okay, good. All right. So viewers, if you would like to join Barb and me for the after show, and who knows what can happen over there, come with us. We're going over to menopausemoment.com is the only place you can find the after show. In the meantime, we're going to have links so you can find Barb online, and you can also find the Healthy Woman survey online. So look at our show notes for today. Thanks for watching. Flash on.